Hey everybody, Akamatzu here, back with another thoughts video. This time on Silent Hill 2 Remake. I just finished it over on my Twitch channel just now, so the game is fresh in my mind. Uh, as usual, I usually have some things to preface before I get into it. Uh, this was the first time that I ever played Silent Hill 2 in particular. Did not play the original. I didn't have access to it, and I never tried to get access through emulating it or anything like that. I did play Silent Hill 1 for the first time back in 2019. I bought it on the PS3 as a digital download. Had it for a long time. Finally played it in 2019, and to my surprise, I didn't like it. Um, Despite liking the old RE games and being accustomed to tank controls and all that stuff, and I love the old RE games. I thought playing Silent Hill 1 I was gonna enjoy because I was like, okay, yeah, I like other tank control games at the time. For some reason, Silent Hill 1 just didn't grab me. I played it once, finished it, moved on, and I barely remember it. Um, I do want to replay it with the playthrough of this though. But with that said, the most I know about Silent Hill is actually from DBD, Dead by Daylight, and not actually Silent Hill 1 because they have Pyramid Head in it. I keep wanting to call him Pinhead. And they have Cheryl, and they have characters from Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3 and Silent Hill 1. I learned the most about Silent Hill from DVD. So I had very little knowledge of Silent Hill 2 going into it. I didn't really know what to expect. Like I said, I barely remember Silent Hill 1. And I wasn't going to play it either. I was going to skip it because of the experience that I had with Silent Hill 1. But after I saw that, I mean, it's sitting at Universal Positive on Steam, it seemed people really liked it. And I think that wasn't on anybody's bingo card at all. Because one, it was made by, Konami has been out of the video game business like how they used to be for a long time, right? They just been making the easy money, which I think is fair for them to do. But, that leaves people sus. And then also the developers blooper team have also made a bunch of games that people would, call walking sims and stuff. And they just haven't been the most highly rated games. So you mix those two together, people were kind of hesitant. So I don't think anybody really saw the game coming out and it doing as well, as people thought. I think most people were kind of expecting it to be okay at best, but it seemed like people really liked it. That got me to want to play it. I was normally going to skip it. Okay, housekeeping's over. All right, so I usually do this good, con, wish list. So for the good, having just played Resident Evil 4 Remake for in a month straight, doing my randomizer permadeath challenge, it left me fresh in the mind with that game. And having both of these two, it's going to be hard for me not to compare it to RE. By the way, it's just going to happen. You're just going to have to accept it. This is a true survival horror game, where I would say Resident Evil, is, especially 4, or let's just even say Village, is more of like a action survival horror game. In this game, it is not action at all. Your aim sucks. Let's just say by comparison. You're not. I mean, you do find plenty of ammo, right? I think the whole idea of like you not getting ammo that much it doesn't exist in this game. I played on hard combat and hard puzzles. I had more than enough ammo for the whole game. Heals in the beginning were scarce as hell when I sucked at dodging, though. But it's by no means an action game. This is a slow, very atmospheric, very just what you would think of a survival horror game. You really do feel like you are surviving the horror. Like James is not over here roundhouse kicking people in the face. The guy's barely capable of doing stuff. Truly feels like you are surviving what's going on, and I think it's a job well done in that regard. Um, Another good thing that doesn't I don't really care about, but people seem to care about it. It's a very pretty looking game. The graphics look fantastic. That's about all I got to say about that. They do though. The music though, the atmospheric music that they play, like the OSTs in the background, are very nice. But the sound effects, I would say, are even better. And I'm going to move away from this because I don't want to spoil because I just pressed continue by accident. But the sound effects, in my opinion, I think outbeat the OST. There's so many good, just screeching noises, flickering of light noises, enemies, you can hear them. They're making noises, but you don't see them. There's just great spooky sound effects all throughout the game, and they're almost all well done. I feel it definitely sets the atmosphere very, very well. There's I think the enemies also like fit the setting as well. They're very creepy. I do kind of wish there was more variety of to them, though. I will say, it kind of reminds me of Resident Evil 7 in terms of variety. Didn't really feel like there was that much. I would say, especially compared to other ones. But I'm not going to knock that too hard. But I do wish there was kind of more variety to it. But it's a very good atmosphere game. Like it nails its atmosphere 100%. I'd say. Um. The acting's great. There's no character in this game that I hate. I mean, I guess if you had to hate a character, I think the easiest pick would be Eddie. But then I think they did a job well done in that regard. If you dislike Eddie, supposed to be a dislikable character, I guess, but or the easy pick. But I think all the characters are enjoyable, and I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the good here. It was surprisingly a lot better than what I thought it would be. Um, but I also didn't really know what to expect. Now I'm going to talk about the cons and, go easy on me. I do kind of feel that the game drags a bit. uh, to me, it like half the time, I know you don't really know what's going on, right? Or it could be because I'm broadcasting and I'm splitting my attention between Twitch chat and stuff, but I like to think that I'm pretty thorough and I'm still reading all the notes and trying to comprehend them, but maybe I'm not comprehending everything. But I do feel like there is a formula to it that I don't like, where it is go to this area, get this puzzle, get these 3 pieces to this puzzle, find them, get out, get like 5 to 30 minutes of between time, do it again. Same thing, do it again. All while not really getting any answers. Like you get the what you're looking for at the very end of the game. I don't really have any problems with that, but for me it does make the motivation of going through the game a bit harder when it doesn't really have much in terms of like giving you substance of like what you're doing. Like it doesn't really feel like what I'm doing is amounting to anything because all I'm doing is like trying to find my, wife, but I'm not really finding anything that's leading me to her. And then when you mix that in with like it feels like you're just getting in the hitting with the same like formula like go here, do this puzzle, go here, do this puzzle, but you're not really getting anywhere. I don't After a while, it did make me like kind of not look forward to like some areas because I was like, okay, am I going to go through all this and learn something? No. And then this is not the game's fault. So it's not the game's fault. So I can't punish the game for this. It's unfortunately a bad side of the community on Twitch, unfortunately, or just the internet in general. But the big payoff that you're working towards, right? The big reveal that you get, it was spoiled to me in chat like 2 days ago. I beat the game on my 5th day. I knew on the 3rd day. So it kind of made the rest of the game for me a bit like, all right, well, I guess I'll just finish it because I started it. and it kind of ruined it for me because I'm like, okay, well, I already know what's going on, which was a bit annoying. I'd say it sucks when that happens, but I can't lie and say that it didn't undermine my enjoyment of the game. After a while, it did kind of make you go off the hill a little bit. Um, the bad guy I saw coming. I don't really think that's a con, but I just want to throw it out there. The bad person. I I think it's pretty obvious. Um, and it was obvious. Uh, but I would say that's probably my only one that I feel like it kind of drags a little bit. If I had to be like super nitpicky, yeah, I complained about it during my playthrough where like sometimes I just couldn't tell if my bullets were hitting the enemy. Maybe I just wasn't noticing the blood splatter or something. But it usually happened on big body enemies. I couldn't really tell if my bullets were hitting them or not. But that's like nitpicky. It doesn't matter. All in all, I do think the game is pretty fantastic. And unlike my other thoughts videos that I've done, I do want to do a follow-up to this because I wanted to do one that had my initial thoughts of the game after one playthrough. I did it again. I wanted to do one that had my initial thoughts after I finished the playthrough so I can get my raw ideas out. But I also want to do a follow-up to it after I go through and I get all the endings to see if my idea changes or my opinion changes. I did like it a lot more than Silent Hill 1 when I played it 5 years ago. So I do think it's great. I had a great time with it. And I do think it's a very atmospheric game. And like I said, I do think it is actually like a true survival horror game where if you're kind of like, I'm tired of this action stuff and horror and all that stuff, this is definitely right up your alley. Um, I would say it's definitely worth it. Oh, another con that I would have to mention, it would be disingenuous if I didn't mention it. Now, I don't have the strongest computer in the world. Like, my CPU is like 20% under the recommended specs for this. That's a me problem. But I have looked around and I have seen that this game in its current form is a mess on PC. Almost no matter what hardware you're running. Unfortunately, it also seems like it's a problem on console, but to a lesser degree. If I didn't get that much stuttering going on, like hitches, like I did when I played Black Myth Wukong, but its performance is definitely not the greatest. Unfortunately, it seems to be plaguing a lot of Unreal Engine 5 games. I don't know what the people over at Tekken figured out. That game runs flawlessly, in my opinion, outside of fighting game mumbo jumbo, but it seems like every Unreal Engine 5 games has some frame hitches, some frame stutterings, and this game's no different. I know they've had a bunch of updates on PC to try to fix it. It's still not fixed, unfortunately. Hopefully, it gets in a better place. Would like to see that, but it would be disingenuous if I didn't mention that. It is definitely not in the greatest place that it could be. But all in all, I did enjoy it. I'm glad I played it. I had fun with it. I was told that Blooper Team's going to be remaking Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 3. I do know those are 3 is the sequel of 1. I do know that. So I do look forward to that. Hopefully, they keep up doing what they want and they deliver people what they like. But it's really nice. I also kind of hope they remake the games that people don't like the 4th game, apparently. I think it's called The Room or Downpour. I don't remember, but that's it. That's all I got. Thanks for watching my video.
So dance, while I put you in a trance. Let's party.